Hi, I'm Robert Clark. I'm a CPA here in Key West. I have an MBA from Utah State University. I'm an Army veteran. I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division.
Hi, my name is Chris Holland. I've owned the Ibis Bay Resort and the Stone Crab Restaurant since 2003.
Well, they're kind of all over the place, but I think you can group them into three main categories. You do have some people that are being calm, and although they're not happy with this, they recognize there's not a whole lot they can do about it, and they're resigned that, hey, if it continues on, we're just going to have to file bankruptcy. And I think you've already seen some businesses that have closed and announced that they're not coming back. Then you have some on one end of the spectrum that are becoming increasingly angry, and they seem to become angrier and angrier the more this goes on. And then you have some on the other side that are fearful, and they're becoming so fearful they seem borderline suicidal. They're asking questions that imply what would happen to my family if I died. I need some tax planning advice for my family if I'm not here within a few months. This is putting an incredible amount of stress on the small business community.
Safety first is, just by the sound of it and by what we associate it with, a very conservative idea. But in this situation, it actually isn't conservative at all. It took radical thinking to create the information checkpoints that have given Key West what I believe is a great marketing advantage, and that is safety. The perception of safety and the reality of safety. Key West's case count is well below other iconic tourist destinations in the country, and love or hate the early shutdown of the businesses, that also helped make Key West a safer place. In times like these, that is going to be one of the deciding factors in choosing a destination for an early vacation, particularly in early openings. And it's an advantage that we can't squander.
The small business community is not making any money right now, yet they've got rent payments to make on Duval Street and other places. If you own a restaurant in Duval Street, your rent may very well be $25,000 or $30,000 a month. Plus you have your own personal rent. Plus if you're a restaurant, you've got food in the freezer that's going to start going bad, or in the refrigerator. You've got payroll to make. You've got people that you've laid off that looked up to you. There's no way that a government leader, unless they had previously been a small business owner, could possibly empathize with that. That does not make them bad people. It just means that they're not able to understand the stress that these people are under and what it's doing to them both economically and emotionally.
The reality is, if we don't do this right and give ourselves the time it takes to get it right, there won't be much of a pie to divide up between us. And so while financial pressures are critical on all of us now, and it's very uncomfortable, and some people are in a difficult situation where they may or may not be able to reopen, if we don't do this right, there just won't be a decent amount of business for any of us.
I think we have local leaders that are acting out of fear. I don't think that their motives are driven for political gain. I think that they're generally afraid of the virus, and they're generally concerned for our welfare. Being a student of history, though, I can tell you there's never once been a good decision made out of fear. It's never happened, and it never will. When you're afraid, you make extreme decisions, and all you can see is the fear in front of you, hence the famous saying, there's nothing to fear but fear itself, from FDR. The opposite of fear is to trust, either trust in God or trust in your fellow man. And I'm asking our local leaders to trust in the small business community. Open us back up immediately and trust us that we will do the right thing.
It's a universal truth that human nature is, we just comply in the beginning because we're good and we believe in doing the right thing. But little by little, we chip away at a new rule that takes extra effort until it becomes the old way again. I mean, all the chamber members know training our employees never ends, and you're training them about the same things over and over. This will be no different. So enforcement is critical.
I firmly believe that the worst thing you can do to the body is not is not eating fatty foods, it's not being obese, it's not smoking or drinking. It is putting the body through prolonged stress. It leads to health problems that will never ever be able to connect back to the stress that this shutdown is causing. But you can rest assured there will be health issues, serious health issues that this is causing in people that they will experience down the road, and in the worst case scenarios, it could even be taking years off of people's lives. How do you measure that? Because there's no way to tie that back to this. But every medical professional agrees that stress is absolutely terrible for people. And I think we're at a point where the cure to this virus has become worse than the virus itself, not only from the economic shutdown, but just the sheer levels of stress being put on the small business community.
A level of PTSD is going to be significant after this. I think the fear of life having gone, the life we know it has gone, and that this new normal is a life of fear. That part of the equation is the greatest unknown factor in this to me, because it's not measurable now.
Trust in us to do the right thing. We will not let you down. Lead us, tell us what we need to do, provide that strong leadership, and you'll be rewarded for it, and you will bless the lives of thousands of people. But don't act out of fear. No good decision is ever made acting out of fear. Trust in us to do the right thing. Tell us that you believe in us, tell us that you trust us, and lead us. That is how we get through this together.
Life and death are black and white. You can't go backwards when it goes wrong. We are the solution. Each of us can make sure our businesses, our employees, and our customers comply with the protocols that will make this a successful opening.